This is the shark. First is the trunk and axial musculature.
Okay.
The first muscle is the myomeres, which is the darker muscle in this area. The origin is the vertebral column, and the insertion is the integument. Next is the horizontal septum, which is the line that goes down the back of the animal. And then the myoseptum are the whiter areas of muscle that separate the myomeres. Next is the epaxial muscles, which are on top, and then the origin is the vertebral column, the insertion is the integument, and it is homologous to the dorsalis trunci in the nectaris. The hypaxial muscles are underneath. The origin is the vertebral column, the insertion is the integument, and it is homologous to the rectus abdominis, external oblique, internal oblique, and transversus in the nectaris. Next is the pectoral abductor, which is right here. The origin is the scapular process of pectoral girdle, and the insertion is the pterygophores. It's homologous to the triceps brachii and dorsalis scapulae, coracoid, humeralis, and latimus dorsi, and the forearm extensors, and the supracoracoides in the nectaris. The pectoral adductor muscles are in the same area. The origin is the coracoid bar of the pectoral girdle. The insertion is the pterygophores, and it is homologous to the pectoralis, coracoid brachialis, humero-antebrachialis, and the forearm flexors in the nectaris. The pelvic adductor muscles are down here. The origin is the iliac process of pelvic girdle, and the insertion is the pterygophores. It's homologous to several hind limb adductor muscles in the nectaris, and the pelvic adductor muscles are in the same area. The origin is the pubo-ischiac bar. The insertion is the pterygophores, and it is homologous to several hind limb adductor muscles.
Finally, the
next muscles are the branchiomeric musculature.
Below the muscle,
The levator palato-quadrati is in this area right here. The origin is the otic capsule. The insertion is the palato-quadrate, and it is homologous to the adductor mandibulae interior and exterior in the nectaris. The spiracularis is in the middle of this area, and the origin is the otic capsule. The insertion is the palato-quadrate, and it is also homologous to the adductor mandibulae interior and exterior. The adductor mandibulae is underneath in this area. The origin is the palato-quadrate. The insertion is Meckel's cartilage, and it's homologous to the adductor mandibulae interior and exterior. The preorbitals are underneath the eye. The origin is the ventral chondrocranium. The insertion is Meckel's cartilage, and it is homologous to the adductor mandibulae interior and exterior. The intermandibularis is on the under area in here. The origin is Meckel's cartilage. The insertion is midventral raphe, and it's homologous to the intermandibularis. The levator hyomandibulae is also in this same area up here, and the origin is the otic capsule. The insertion is the midventral raphe, and it is homologous to the insertion is the hyomandibular cartilage, and it is homologous to the depressor mandibulae. The interhyoideus is
the superficial constructors.
On this side.
And the last
and it is
of the
over
dorsolateral
here,
head musculature is bulvated.
and it is, the origin is the cerebrohyal, the insertion is the midventral raphe, and it is homologous to the interhyoideus and sphincter coli in the nectaris. The colturus is on this side, and it's in here above the fin. The origin is the fascia of the axial muscles. The insertion is the scapular process of pectoral girdle, and it is homologous to the calcaris and levators arcum in the nectaris. The dorsal constrictors are up here, and the origin is the raphe, and the insertion is also the raphe, and the ventral constrictors are under here, under the gills, and the origin and insertion are both the raphe. Lastly is the hypobrachial musculature. First is the coracomandibularis, which is in the middle, where on like the left side of the groove. The origin is the fascia of coracoqual muscle. The insertion is Meckel's cartilage. Next is the common coracoquals, which are right here. The origin is the coracoid bar. The insertion is the coracohyoid muscle, and it is homologous to the pectoris capillaris and rectus cervicis in the nectaris. And lastly is the coracohyoid, which is on this side. And the origin is the coracoid muscle, and the insertion is the basohyal, and it is homologous to the rectus cervicis in the